Hi, my name is Amber Gilmore. I'm affiliated with the Hendersonville Rural Family Medicine Residency. Today we're going to be reviewing Contracts 101. To start, did you know that most graduates sign for a lower salary and less benefits than they should? While we all entered medicine to take care of patients, we should be paid for all of our hard work. Here are 5 tips to land your ultimate dream job as a family physician with the compensation you deserve. Tip number 1, it's better to work where you live, not live where you work. We can be family doctors anywhere. Do you want to be nearby family members, siblings, cousins? Or do you want to live somewhere where you can pursue new hobbies? Or do you want to find a community where you can raise your children? Next, you need to think about what scope of practice do you want. Opportunities are endless in family medicine, but they may be limited by your location. Are you interested in outpatient clinic, prenatal care, deliveries at the hospital, working in the hospital as a hospitalist, or admitting your own patients to the hospital? Do you want to work in the ICU? Is it open or closed at the existing hospital? Urgent care opportunities, working in the nursing home, public health at the local health department, community outreach with your employer or local opportunities. Or in academics, would you be interested in being a faculty with the medical school or residency, or a community preceptor, or pursuing your own research interests? Remember, it's better to find a place that already has the job you want, rather than false promises about their willingness to adapt. Tip number 2, take control of your work week. What do you want your work week to look like? Regarding clinic, how many days per week do you want to work? You need to think in terms of FTEs, which is full-time equivalent. Usually, 0.1 FTE is 1 half day of clinic. So 1.0 FTE is full-time, meaning 5 full days of clinic. 0.8 FTE would be 8 clinic half days, or 4 days per week. You also need to account for admin time, which should be at least 1 half day per week, if not more. And then what are the expectations about how many clinic patients to see in a half day? Is it 8, 10, 15? And then are there any call expectations? These need to be delineated in the contract, including the number of nights per week and weekends per month. This is important because if a partner leaves, you could be picking up more call if it's not specified in your contract. Also ask if there's a bonus for call, or is it included in your lump salary for repayment. Next, if you are on call in the hospital, who's your backup for ICU and OB deliveries? And then how is the process for hospital privileges and credentialing for the procedures you want to continue? Tip number 3, show me the money. First, let's talk base salary. You need to compare the salaries offered with average salaries in the area for similar jobs. It's also helpful to ask colleagues. Next, think about additional training or skills that you can bring to the table. If you're fellowship trained, if you speak a foreign language, or if you can bring new procedures to their clinic for more reimbursement. Remember that salaries are higher in rural areas, but there tend to be more call responsibilities. Remember that some organizations will entice you with a high base salary, but this may drop after several years when your salary becomes more dependent on RVUs. RVUs is relative value units. This is where you're compensated based upon how much work is required to treat a patient. A more complex patient will give you more of a bonus on top of your salary. Next, let's talk fee for service. Sometimes with this model, there is not a base salary, and it's reliant only on your productivity. So if you do more procedures or see more complicated patients, you'll make more money. Keep in mind, both fee for service and RVUs are productivity-based contracts. They are not guaranteed, they can be inconsistent and out of your control. Tip number 4, not all benefits are treated equal. As long as you're full-time, you will be guaranteed insurance with most companies, including medical, dental, and vision. They may offer traditional PPO plans or new high-deductible plans. Most high-deductible plans should have a health savings account, HSA, and your employer typically can contribute to that. An average is about $500 per year. Next, let's talk retirement. You need to start saving now. Most physicians are unlikely to have a pension. Be sure to push for a strong employer match. That's when your employer puts in a percentage for every dollar that you invest. Some places will fill the maximum allowed, and some do not provide any match at all. You also need to check how long you need to stay with your employer for that money to be vested. Otherwise, you could lose their entire contribution. If you're interested in staying on as faculty at your residency program, make sure to ask if your time as a resident counts toward you being fully vested as an employer. Next, let's talk paid time off, PTO, vacation, holiday, and sick time. Sometimes this can be lumped as one set amount of PTO, or it can be divided up. Regarding vacation, there tends to be a large range. You need to push for at least 5 weeks. Holidays, make sure these are separate from your vacation days. There should be at least 5 or more. And then sick time. Like I said before, it might be accounted for in the total PTO, but ask if there are extra sick days. CME, continuing medical education. Ask how much money, but also time. Some places will fool you into giving you a lot of CME money, but no time to spend that money. As far as time, think at least a week, maybe 2 if you're in academics, and money, think thousands. It's also important to ask the employer to pay other fees separate from your CME expenses. This includes state licensing, your DEA, and membership such as AAFP. Next, let's talk loan repayment, since the majority of residents have substantial debt after finishing residency. There are many federal and state loan repayment options. Make sure when you're on the interview trail to ask each employer about their HPSA score and see if this qualifies for your loan repayment option. Most safety net clinics, such as FQHCs or FQHC lookalikes, can qualify for loan repayment as well. Some employers, especially in rural towns, will offer additional loan repayment as well for recruitment. The best way to see if you would qualify is to ask the employer if there are current providers who receive these benefits. Let's talk about other benefits that may be offered. Look for a possible sign-on bonus, moving expenses, or a resident stipend if you sign on while you're still in your second or third year of residency. That's why it's good to start your search early, and you could increase your income as a resident. Tip number 5, watch out for red flags and trust your gut. Some employers will promise a very large sign-on bonus, even up to $100,000, but this comes with a price of a long contract period for several years. Remember, if it's too good to be true, it is. Look out for a non-compete clause. This usually includes a radius and a period of time that could be years and up to several counties away. This could limit you working anywhere in your community for a very long time. What is the prescribing culture at the current clinic? Are they practicing evidence-based medicine? You could be picking up a patient panel that is on medications you do not normally use and that you do not think are appropriate. Is there a high turnover rate among providers, or is there a heavy locums tenens presence? This may indicate an unfriendly or unstable work environment. Remember to trust your gut during the interview and interactions with providers. It's always a good idea to have an attorney review your contract before you sign. Let's review the 5 tips again. Number 1, it's better to work where you live, not live where you work. Number 2, take control of your work week. Number 3, show me the money. Number 4, not all benefits are treated equal. Number 5, watch out for red flags and trust your gut. Don't forget, you are in high demand. Know what you want out of a job and don't settle for less than you're worth. Strong negotiation skills can pay off with potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars over your career. Stay tuned for Reviewing Contracts 102, where we will review how to compare your contracts side by side to pick the best offer for you. Thanks for watching.